Thank you guys for having me. I see a lot of alive people, after yesterday, and obviously there are some dead ones, but we'll honor them with what we've got. So, I represent, my name is Vasil Tuchkov. I'm an entrepreneur, a writer. I am the founder of a creative disruption agency and a partner in an IT software development company where we build software for some of the biggest fintech blockchain companies in the world. And I'm not going to go into specifics, that's not the point. I'm going to talk today about the power of dreams, the power to transform the world through storytelling. I'm going to talk about disrupting the entertainment industry and avoiding burnout through co creation. So, Yellowmouth Studios, our studio, is pretty much the first, and our product, it remains, is the first decentralized entertainment franchise on the blockchain. What does that mean? It's imagine Dune or Star Wars, but decentralized, where people can not only be viewers but also participants and dictate the future development of that. Our mission statement is to create a shift, a paradigm, and social mentality where we evolve from a consumer driven society to a co creator one. And in the time where the Renaissance ideal is more important than ever, people start their own businesses. We all have our startups, our tech startups, our entertainment startups. Our we need to take care of our bodies, of our soul, meditation room, all of that. We also need to work on our culture. Why on our culture? Because I used to be, a writer. Then I got tired of not having money, and I moved. For the last 15, 17 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I got into blockchain in 2013, pretty much where I discovered Ethereum, and I've always been fascinated by the technology and what it can bring, less so by the actual speculation of it. So bear market, bull market, we've all seen them. It's pretty much rinsed out all the filth, and we're here to build. So connecting and co-creating is what we're all about. And in a time where the Renaissance ideal is much more important, we need to work on our entertainment and on our culture because both art and tech are very tied together since the beginning of time. We all share dreams no matter where we are. They take away the difference of the color of our skin, our religion, our social status. And for example, Jules Verne wrote Captain Nemo, where he imagined the first submarine, the Nautilus, and then a scientist realized that. We have Leonardo's machines. So all of this is very important in order to drive forward innovation. And I've heard coaches often say, "Oh, go follow your dreams, get off your couch, get off Netflix, and go do your thing." But in order to follow your dreams, you need dreams in the first place. In order to get those dreams and to feel them, you need culture. And now the problem with our fast-moving environment and ecosystem is that anytime you're sitting in front of Netflix, let's say, and you're watching something, you're facing opportunity cost of what you could be working on, your own project to excel. So by this, we're trying to disrupt, the status quo and create an entertainment medium where it's not just one-sided, but viewers can also be co-creators. How many of you have seen Game of Thrones? Okay. How many of you like the ending? Okay, not even one. So the whole problem with this and why the author George Martin got away from it was that everybody I would go online in different forums and I would see different scenarios and people finishing it and writing it and changing the ending. What if we could all decide the ending of that and through consensus reach a better, more quality entertainment where it actually does good for society as well? And so we gathered with my partners who come from Hollywood, from business, from tech, and we decided that anytime we wanted to release a product, a software product, a movie, a book, we're facing these censoring bodies such as big executive studios, standards, monopolies, and we decided to skip that and deliver the content directly to the audience where user gets to be also participant. And movies, such as the first Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Citizen Kane, things like that no longer happen. I have an advertising agency, so I know how to pretty much manipulate and program taste. And with this, we aim to really skip the line and create a more direct, formal way of co-creation, distribution, and promotion of content. And through the power of blockchain, worldwide, through the power of Ethereum, make this accessible to as many people as possible and making them active participants in that. And now, all of this starts pretty much at the bottom of a book that I wrote. It's called It Remains, and I wrote it at a very dark moment of my life after, you know, a 7-year relationship that ended due to burnout and working too much on those companies. So it was a very good lesson in avoiding burnout. After surgery that had me bound to a bed, and at the beginning of a quarantine that would scorch the world of this plague for the next 2 years. So I guess under the influence of alcohol and depression, I sat down and I wrote a story that was very intimate, and I never thought it would grow out of proportion. And anytime the story touched somebody, they wanted to work on it, even pro bono in the beginning. All of a sudden, we're 40 people on 3 continents, and we're building a franchise. So really, it was validation to me that language is the virus, and that stories are contagious, and they have the power to change the world. And this story is based on our world, but in a different environment, because I went around different cities of the world and shot homeless people with a camera, not with a gun. Right. So we shot him, and Ed, our super talented artist over there, turned them into our characters, our resistors. So through our artwork, because this is a graphic novel in its core, we're raising awareness for plastic alternatives, housing projects, and things that will contribute to society directly by being involved in the story, and not just by patronizing. Go and recycle your garbage. I'm going to sound like your father. So in this, by involving people into the story, that's how we hope to create this shift. And the story itself is, imagine a world much like our own, where after war, pollution, overconsumption, overfishing, all we're left with is bone, dust, and plastic. And at the center of this barren wasteland, we arrive at a mysterious yellow lake, which acts, thank you, sir, it's so hot, which acts as a swallowing pit, which is sucking in the surface of the world very, very slowly into itself. This lake, the few remaining locals call the Yellow Mouth. And these locals are 2 characters that we need to relate: it and its father, because pronouns and genders and things like that are forever gone. The only thing that's left is it and it. And each day, it and its father walk in the opposite direction of the Yellow Mouth, and they walk for so long that when they stop to sleep, they wake up in front of his shorts and not inside it, and not inside the Yellow Mouth. And they start walking again. So it's basically like living on a treadmill, back and forth, back and forth. It's a metaphor for our life. Why get out of bed? Why go grind? Why work? Anytime you don't commit suicide, all of us were making a choice to continue. And this whole story is a story of the loss of definition, and ultimately of father and son at world's end. But this Yellow Mouth represents also technology, because if they go to the Yellow Mouth and they're holding a blade in their hand, when they put the blade under the yellow and they take it out, that's part of their hand, embedded in skin and bone. And if they put it back inside, they can rinse it and release it. And in this way, they can add various extensions to their bodies, such as technology. But what does technology give, and what does it take away? So if they add too many, they begin to weigh down on them, and the Yellow Mouth takes them away. And we have represented this in various NFT collections, generative NFT collections, which can be combined together from the narrative. And maybe with this project, because it's a book that's released in a new standard, in an innovative standard of NFTs, where, it's not about just flipping, monkeys and changing the colors, but it's actually having a wallet where you can have the audiobook and the different acts of the graphic novel appear each month. Your NFTs can have their own NFTs and collections. And the whole point is collaboration, because never in my life have I worked with a more passionate team that I'm involved right now. And it really taught me how to avoid burnout, because the only way to do it is to trust the process and to stop micromanaging. And through decentralization and through collective work, we can all allocate trust to each other, and we can all build this together. And what started to humble me with this project is that I met a guy who has been very inspiring for my entire life without me knowing it. Maybe you've seen some of his films. They're Finding Nemo, Wally, and The Incredibles. So this is our art director, Anthony Christoph, 18 years of Pixar, and this is his new project, our project. Can you please give a microphone to Anthony? Thank you.
Can you hear?
Are we on? Don't take away from our time.
All right. So I really like what he said because we I was part of that establishment where you made films, storytelling by committee, by corporate decisions, by this heavy kind of Hollywood structure. And the bigger we got, the more difficult it got. In fact, I got out of that racket altogether. Now I have a couple of schools. Film, game dev, VFX, one in Rome, one in Sofia, which is where I'm from. And what I like about what attracted me to this project and this team, first is the story. The story is super cool. I mean, come on. So you have a phone, right? Do you think you have a phone? No, you don't. It has you, right? I mean, what happens when you lose it? It's complete panic, like you lost your child at the mall. Right? I mean, I've done that, so I know how it feels. But it owns you. You are its property, essentially. So surrounding yourself with objects, surrounding yourself with things that you can't separate from. I think that's a very important part of the story. There's so many aspects of this story that I really like, attracted me to it, and I decided to get on board and get involved. But most of it is this kind of a decentralized aspect of storytelling and narrative that it's not kind of served to the audience. I've been on the other side many years. So I spent 18 years in Pixar, but as an art director, but I spent roughly 37 years in Hollywood in general. So I'm old. Yeah, I went to Pixar when I was already 40. So I've been behind the scenes with, I saw how those decisions were made, sometimes with focus groups, which is, I think it's pretty interesting how you have to ask, that's as close as it's gotten to actually any form of decentralized narrative is when we ask people, how did you see this? How is it going to develop? What's going to happen? What do you prefer? But in general, that's very limited. Most decisions are made, obviously, in the corporate kind of meeting rooms. And so this is what it makes this different. And the Web3 technology obviously makes it possible. So I'm really excited to be part of it.
Yeah, so are we. Anthony's helping us be the bridge between the standard old conventional entertainment industry and Web3, and basically transcending that and disrupting that world together. But we're developing a game that's an AR experience. We're based on many augmented reality experiences where you can go and clean a beach, let's say, and receive tokens in reward, and it's called Clean to Earn. Different concepts. And if you have something based on our world, an idea that you want to co-create, let's say a board game, you submit it and the community votes that you've done a good job and we fund it. So the whole point is to plant a seed and to watch this garden grow. And to us, we were invited in Dubai, and we went there and we were like, what is this gallery after one conference? This gallery turned out to be the most amazing space I've ever been. 30,000 square feet gallery at Dubai Mall, where people left the realm of the physical and stepped into the graphic novel come to life, into my story and Ed's artwork, animated and curated by Tony. And
that was amazing. That was amazing. Actually, it was immersive, so you can see it. It was in the floor. It was in the walls. And the yellow mouth was actually moving with all the unnecessary objects that we have, and it was getting sucked into the center of the. I mean, 3,000 square meters. It was a huge space, but I've never experienced anything like this, especially with storytelling. I mean, this is not like Van Gogh exhibition when you put it and you just art. No, this is a storytelling and it has a narrative and starts from here to there. That was a really amazing experience for me.
Absolutely, and you could, with this immersive experience, it was the first time we got validated in NFTs as modern art because Van Gogh and Kandinsky have their immersive experiences there. People came, all the walls and all the artwork were NFTs, some 40 meters long. There was a live auction. By purchasing these NFTs, people got to dictate the future of the It Remains franchise. And you see there this figurine that our colleague is holding. That's the figure of its father. We are biological beings. We like walking in the park. We like making love. So I think that technology and biology should go together in harmony. Of course, you can also look at this figurine through a augmented reality experience and mix things together. Our last event, just before coming here, we got to do it at the Eiffel Tower inside itself, where again it was part of the It Remains immersive experience. This is 16th country this year. We're premiering at NFT in New York and at LA Comic Con later, and really it's all about the growth in the co-working. Right now we're gonna do conventional, through publishing, gaming, movie production. There's gonna be a Netflix show and so on. So you'll be hearing about it. But we're very keen on staying true to blockchain and involving the audience as much as possible. So if you guys want to reach out, you can come to our room over there with the Resistor, and we can talk about many forms of collaboration because we're all about, bringing engineers, creators, and just business people surrounded by the idea of co-creation, and we've given the subject. And maybe if you're deep in the story, the next time you see someone homeless, you would think, oh, he looks like a resistor, and maybe then you would feel a little bit more touched by it, so we can stop the trajectory of humanity where we're going, and we can arrive at a better place. And we're also with the owner of the rights of Batman, so we are working with the conventional people, but we want to keep this decentralized, raw, and disruptive. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you. Does someone have a